All right, good afternoon. It's Monday, December 23rd. We're talking right around 2 p.m. We're going to focus on two things here since we have a very, very busy holiday week and then weekend upcoming. And we are getting into a more active weather pattern now. But it's a very, very tricky forecast, not only as we get into Christmas Day and then Thursday, but then even probably more importantly now, next weekend, or I guess it would be this coming weekend now. That would be right around the 28th and 29th. So anyway, we're going to get into this as quick as possible for you and get out of here as quick as possible for you because I know that everybody's busy. Let's just take a look quickly now at Wednesday, so Christmas Day into Thursday morning. Right now, what you're seeing is the NAM-NEST computer model guidance for precipitation now over Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, this is Tuesday, and I haven't really said much about this yet, but don't be surprised if we get some patchy freezing drizzle on Tuesday. So that would be tomorrow, especially in the evening. But you can see this would be very patchy in nature, and it just wouldn't accumulate too much. In fact, temperatures may be just warm enough in that 33 to 35 degree range tomorrow that we won't have to worry about any icing. But then my concern comes as we get into later tomorrow night, and then especially Wednesday morning. This is Wednesday morning. You can see the precipitation echoes get a little bit heavier in southern Minnesota, and then a transition over to snow beginning here in South Dakota, North Dakota. But this is mostly some light freezing rain and some freezing drizzle as we get into Wednesday morning. So that's Christmas Day. It certainly could be just enough to put a coating of ice on especially exposed surfaces or elevated surfaces before we warm up. And I think we're going to warm up enough during the late morning and afternoon hours on Wednesday that we likely keep everything in the form of rain, or at least light rain or drizzle, as temperatures get into the mid 30s now on Wednesday. The caveat here is if this storm system were to track a little bit further south, and that could happen, and we get a little bit more cold air entrenched into this system, we could get a little bit more ice and maybe even some accumulating snow on Wednesday into Thursday morning, but I'm not expecting that yet. Okay, so as of right now, we're just going to keep it mostly a freezing drizzle, maybe a little bit of light freezing rain, especially Wednesday morning, transitioning over to some liquid or just plain old rain or drizzle during the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday evening before this stuff tapers, and then we maybe even get a little bit more ice again Thursday morning. What's really tricky is that temperatures are going to be hovering near that freezing mark for much of the period, and because of that, we are going to be dealing with the potential for ice or rain. So just a whole mixed bag as we go through time. Okay, this is now the European computer model, and we're going to now start to focus on the weekend. And this would be the 27th, 28th, and 29th, especially later Friday, Saturday, and then into early Sunday. Okay, here is the jet stream structure from the European computer model guidance as we get into Saturday. And what I want you to focus on is what's going on down here in the desert southwest. The European guidance, at least as of right now, keeps most of the energy still south and west of us on the weekend. But I have been noticing a trend now in the European computer model guidance of trying to at least pull up some dynamics into southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. What I mean by that is that we'd be at the base of what appears to be a fairly strong jet streak over Minnesota and Lake Superior. So this is just something new that has come up. I was worried a couple days ago about this coming weekend. I took precipitation out of the forecast, and now I'm going to reintroduce it back into the forecast in the trigger graph, as you will see. But the point is that the dynamics may be just good enough to produce some snow and some accumulating snow over southern Minnesota, central Minnesota, and Wisconsin as we get into Saturday and Saturday night. Not impressive, at least on the European guidance as of right now, but certainly something that we need to pay attention to now. As we switch over to the American guidance, and we look at this coming weekend, it is painting a different picture, a different story. It shows what is a classic jet stream structure, this comma shape that we always talk about with a comma head over the upper Midwest. This is an impressive jet stream structure as we head into Saturday, with a jet streak, a very strong one at about 140, 150 knots, located over Missouri and Illinois. This should make sense to you because our last couple of winter storms had almost the exact same structure from a jet stream standpoint, with a strong jet streak south of us and then this comma head to the north of us, which would be another jet streak. And in between, over southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin, is where you'd get vigorous lift. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because look at the precipitation that the American computer model guidance throws out as far as snow as we get into Saturday and then into Sunday morning. Now, obviously, I think this is overdone, but you're going to start hearing many outlets now talk about a potential for a winter storm as we head into this coming weekend, because we have an active weather pattern. To me, the red flag here is that we have very little in the way of cold air available, but still, this is something that we need to watch out for, is if we can get just enough cold air in play on Saturday to produce a winter storm over southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin. The GFS guidance is showing it. The European guidance is starting to show at least some snow on Saturday. So that's why you're going to see in my trigger graph that my thoughts or my confidence in at least some snow as we head into this weekend is starting to go up, and it's something we'll need to pay attention to because I know everybody's busy with the holiday week and weekend approaching. All right, we will update you more as we can, even through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Hang in there and get ready for a more active weather pattern.